Well, hello there, everybody. God bless all of you, and welcome to Friday. I pray that you are well. This video finds you well, and in just the very short few minutes that we share together, that maybe you could just get a little bit of inspiration or some encouragement. This past week I just started teaching a class on the Book of Acts, and I really do love the book of Acts just because it's the birth of, the church, and, the deliverance of the Holy Spirit, of people being filled. The disciples really becoming, stepping into what God had for them. Yeah. Being empowered, being bold, speaking the word, mimicking Jesus, all the ways that Jesus healed or spoke power, spoke life. That's the book of Acts, and it's to me it's always really encouraging, and because it's just a great reminder of the power that we have inside of us, but also who we are. And I think one of the biggest aspects of the book of Acts and the participants, in the first church is their availability. They made themselves available. It was, here we are, God. So available that we know that they waited in the upper room, right? Before Jesus ascended. He says, go, wait, for the comforter kind of thing. And they went to the upper room and waited for something they weren't quite sure what was to come. And then, as the Bible speaks so clearly of how they were filled with the Holy Spirit and really empowered. And I just like to challenge you on this Friday. Maybe something to think about is, how available are you to the kingdom? Yeah. I know we can boil down Christianity to attending a church somewhere, and on a Sunday, and that's our Christianity, and we believe there's a God, and we believe God hears our prayers, and that's all good. But I think a lot of times the aspect of our Christian walk, of the the connectedness to the Lord, and how just as we expect God to speak to us, or expect God to answer our prayers, because we do, right? That also there's a sense of an expectation from us, our availability to Him, because we are His hands and His feet. We are His eyes and mouth, and our faces is we're Him. We represent Him here on this earth. How else will the world hear without a preacher, or really just an ambassador? And I'd like to, really challenge you is what are you doing for the kingdom? And it's cool to be serving, in your local church, and that's great, but just how are you on the daily, right? Are you just as Christian? Are you just as merciful? Are you just as gracious as you are to the brethren at church, to the person, at Walgreens or the restaurant? Matthew, in the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 16, Jesus, he exhorts the brethren, right? Exhorts just means to encourage. He says, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Here, Jesus is saying, listen, we should be shining, right? Before everyone, everywhere we go. Why? so they could see, you know, our glorious Father. And here it literally says, you know, in our good works, us being good, not perfect, us being available, hearing God's voice to give someone a word, or to have the boldness to say, can I pray for you? Or just to be a good friend, a good co-worker, right? Isn't that how our light shines today? Yeah, we could be beating a drum and having picket signs, you know, that say, you know, turn or burn. But is that really, you know, to to show people the goodness of God or how good God is? Because that's what the world is missing, right? That's what it's missing. We know with the world, we could say it's evil, we could say it's secular, we could say, you know, there's a lot of good things in society. And there's a lot of bad things in society. But that's not the point. Who's preaching the message, right? Who's speaking? Who is who is permeating the love of God, right? There's that old saying, I mean, Saint Francis of Assisi is given credit, but we don't know if it's his. But he says, preach the gospel at all times, and when necessary, use words. What's it mean? It means our light shining, us being present. You know, even if we're having a challenging day or things aren't going our way. I'm not talking about being fake nice. I'm being about allowing that Holy Spirit that's inside of us to speak, to move, to touch. And it only comes through you, my beloved. Only through you. So be encouraged, but also be challenged. If you haven't shined your light, or as the passage goes on, who puts a light under a bowl, right? Who hides the light? No, we have a light so we could light the room. Light the room. If you've been covering your light, I encourage you to take the bowl off. Let your light shine. Allow God to, you know, to use you and to use the gifts that God's given you. God bless you.